As we're traveling our usual route, I still can't help but feel the anxiety well up within me with every step I take. Though I just take a deep breath in to tell myself everything will be fine. Thankfully, Sayori seems to be blissfully unaware of my apparent apprehension, but it's probably for the best. Eventually, we stop right outside the club.
Well, here we are.
Yep, can't wait to see what's in store for today. Sayori opens the door and steps into the club with me right behind her. Let's just get this over with. Sure enough, the club is the same as it's always been, with everyone in their normal spots doing their normal routines. Monica quickly spots us coming in.
Hey, guys. Hey, Monica. How are you two? I'm doing pretty well. Looking forward to another great day with you guys. Aw, Sayori.
She's always a charmer.
I take it you already have her poems, Hallie.
Yeah, I got hers yesterday. Just need your poems and Natsuki's. I can't remember if you're supposed to put apostrophe whenever it's like this. I'm pretty sure you don't actually need it there.
Fortunately, I remembered to bring them. I'll give them to you by the time club's over.
Alright.
Well, you guys can go sit down. We're gonna get started in a few minutes. Sounds good to me.
Monica leans in to whisper something to me as Sayori goes to sit down.
So, how are you holding up?
Still thinking over a lot of stuff. Though in case Yuri asks about her confession later, I have an idea of what I want to say.
Well, that's good. Still, this is a pretty sensitive topic for you two, so just be careful with what you say.
I'll try my best.
Great. Well, I'll be here if you want to talk more, Hallie.
Right now, I think I could use something to calm me down a bit. It's been a fairly stressful day for me thinking about all this.
Whenever I'm feeling stressed out, I find that music usually helps calm the nerves. I've been working on something if you want to give a lesson.
I'll think about it. Thank you, Monica.
Anytime.
Monica goes back to the teacher's desk, leaving me standing in the middle of the room once again. Looking around the room, I try to figure out who I can talk to without completely melting down or making some sort of scene. So, of course, that leaves Yuri out of the question. I guess that only leaves 3 people I could try talking to. Hey, hold on. Too many O's in your 2 there, my guy. 2-0. It's Sayori's route, man. I should see how Sayori is doing. I walk over to Sayori and take my usual spot next to her. Hey, Sayori!
Hey, Hallie.
You seem to be doing a lot better today.
Well, that's because I get to spend so much time around you, silly.
Oh, well. My face heats up with embarrassment as I nervously scratch the back of my head. It's nothing, Sayori, really. I mean, someone's gotta keep an eye on you.
What do you mean? I'll try to make you watch over me all the time. Why, it'd have to be a real chore to have or to take care of someone like me.
If it was a chore, would I do this? I proceed to boop Sayori on the nose.
Hey, stop it!
I boop Sayori on the nose a couple more times before she playfully slaps my hand away.
You're so silly, Hallie.
I learned from the best.
Aww.
I suddenly hear Sayori's stomach emit a loud, audible growl that I'm pretty sure everybody in the room heard. I turn to face Sayori, who looks away in embarrassment. I know exactly what's going to happen next. Sayori! Sayori then looks at me with her puppy eyes.
Hey, Hallie.
Yes?
I'm hungry. Can you come with me to get a snack?
You mean buy you a snack?
I don't know what you mean.
How much money do you have with you? Sayori struggles to come up with a response. I decided that I'll spare her the embarrassment this time. You know, sometimes they lapse into like past tense when it should be present the whole time. Come on, let's go!
Yay!
Sayori beams at me. We both walk out of the club room and to the nearest vending machine. After a short walk around the corner, we arrive at the vending machines. Sayori and I gaze at the various cookies, candies, drinks, and other snacks currently in stock. What are you thinking about getting? As I look to my left, I see Sayori in what I can only describe as a food trance as she stares in awe.
Ice cream!
Guess that answers that question. Sayori moves aside as I enter in the number for the ice cream bars. Man, they keep frozen goods in these vending machines. After inserting the coins in the coin slot, 2 ice cream bars tumble down into the tray. I hand Sayori the chocolate while I opt for the plain vanilla. We sit down on a nearby bench and begin eating our ice cream. So, does this count for the ice cream I already owe you?
Oh, come on, Hallie, don't be so mean!
She playfully sticks out her ice cream-stained tongue at me.
Besides, this isn't a Sunday!
I suppose so. Sayori and I continue eating our ice cream. As usual, Sayori finishes hers in under a minute, while I nurse mine. Yeah, see, there you go. You didn't need the apostrophe last time you did it. Sayori eyes dart over to my ice cream. Not Sayori's eyes, you know.
Hey, Hallie!
Don't even think about it. Usually my stern voice would be enough to deter Sayori from mooching off my food, but for whatever reason today she seems insistent.
Come on!
No, Sayori. Sayori slowly begins to scooch herself closer to me while giving me her usual puppy eyes. I try hard not to look at her as I hold my ice cream as far away as possible. She tries to grab my ice cream, but her reach isn't far enough.
Come on, Hallie, please!
No, you already had yours. Let me have mine. We sound like children. This reminds me of the times when we would share food as kids. Sayori would always beg to have what I was having when she finished her food. For some reason, ever since she and I started dating, she's been able to break my resolve more easily. I guess they call that love.
Please!
She keeps trying to grab my ice cream, but she keeps failing to reach it.
You really don't want to share with me, do you, Hallie?
But you already had yours.
Yeah, but
But what?
yours was vanilla!
Then you should have gotten vanilla. Sayori crosses her arms and pouts. This girl. I have to stand up for myself at some point with Sayori's never-ending hunger. But then again, would one bite really hurt? Yes, stand up for yourself. No means no, Sayori. Sayori lets out a sigh. Though this isn't like her usual disappointed ones. After about a minute, she turns to face me as I finish the rest of my ice cream.
Alright. I'm sorry.
I raise my eyebrow at Sayori. For what?
For being so selfish.
I don't necessarily think that constitutes as being selfish.
It does. I should be pestering you for things constantly. You've already done so much for me. Why am I so ungrateful?
Sayori, it's fine, really. You don't need to make a big deal over it, it's just ice cream. After all, I still owe you that sundae. Sayori smiles a little at that reminder.
Well, I'm going to hold you to that.
As you should. We share a small laugh before silence falls over us once again. But look, you're not ungrateful. You're just being you. And I like you just the way you are. Even if you get your hands on my food sometimes.
I never found that to be annoying.
I mean, I'm used to it.
Oh.
But it's not really a bad thing. I actually find it cute sometimes. It's really such a you thing to do. Sayori looks off as she tries to process my compliment.
If you say so, Hallie.
Sayori forces a smile. Come on, let's head back. I gently take Sayori by the hand as we slowly walk back to the club room together. As soon as we open the doors, we're immediately greeted by Monica.
Ah, there you two are. Where were you guys?
We were just getting some snacks.
Aw, that's nice. Hope you're refreshed for today's club.
Well, I guess you could say that. I glance over to Sayori, who still seems to be in a bit of a mood since I didn't want to share with her.
Anyways, would you mind getting everybody else's poems? I have mine right here.
Monica hands me her poems. Yeah, I'll do that right now.
I'll be where we usually are, Hallie.
Alright. Sayori sits back down as I put Monica's poem in my bag. I then walk over to Natsuki, who seems to be organizing her manga again for the millionth time. I gently knock on the closet door to avoid catching her off guard. Natsuki stops moving things around and emerges out of the closet. Hey, Natsuki.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. I briefly glance over to Sayori, who seems to be mindlessly dancing her fingers on the table. What about you?
Same here, just organizing my manga again like always. I swear every time I come here, everything's in a different spot. Not to mention everything's always out of order.
That sucks. Is someone else reading them?
Well, I don't know. I only thought the teacher used that closet. At least who's ever reading it has good taste.
I'm sure they do.
You're missing out on reading this, Hallie. It only gets better in every issue.
Oh, well, that's good to know. I would read with you, but I did come to get your poems. Also, manga come in volumes.
Oh yeah, hold on a second.
Natsuki reaches into her bag and grabs her poems.
Here you go.
Thanks, Natsuki. I briefly look through Natsuki's poems just to make sure there are no unexpected surprises.
Is something wrong? Or are you finally coming to realize just how great my poems are?
Sure, you could say that. Natsuki cheerfully smiles to herself.
I knew you'd come around.
You don't need that. This just basically says I would knew you would come around.
But let me know if anything's missing or I accidentally gave you something.
I'll be sure to.
What, did Yuri give you something?
Yeah, whatever. Well, I shouldn't have done this in front of Natsuki. I guess you could say that. Natsuki briefly looks towards the front of the room where Yuri is reading.
So it ain't so.
We say it ain't so. Natsuki?
It's nothing. I need to finish organizing my manga, so...
Okay. I sigh to myself as I'm forced to walk away from her. Great. Knowing Natsuki, she's already getting the wrong idea in her head. I walk back over to my backpack and gently put Natsuki's poems next to Monika's. Oh, wait, how would she be getting the wrong idea? There's only one idea she could get from this. And it is the right idea that Yuri likes this. After carefully putting the poems away, I walk over to rejoin Sayori. I'm back! Sayori jumps a little in her seat.
Huh?
She turns around to see me.
Oh, there you are, Hallie.
I slide into the seat next to Sayori. Miss me? Sayori lets out a small laugh.
Oh, come on, you're only gone for like a minute.
But isn't that a minute too long? I then proceed to make finger guns at her. Sayori rolls her eyes while slightly chuckling.
Would you like some extra cheese with your cheese, sir?
Just then we hear the sound of giggling. I turn around and see Monika standing right behind me. Ah, Monika! Didn't see you there.
Sorry, Hallie. I didn't mean to startle you. Just wanted to check up on you, or check up on how you two lovebirds were doing.
Monika flashes us a teasing smile.
Lovebirds?
Sayori flashes her a confused look.
Oh, come on, Sayori. I already know that you two are together. How do you know?
Sayori flashes me a curious look. All this look flashing. I never did get the chance to ask Sayori about how Monika knew we were dating. I thought you told her, Sayori. Sayori turns back to Monika.
I'm the club president. I know just about everything there is to know about all of you.
Hearing Monika saying that sends a chill down my spine. She isn't stalking us or anything like that, right?
I'm happy for you two. I really am.
Her voice trails off and her eyes drift downward towards the floor. Something tells me she really isn't being genuine here.
It's just that I wish I could find a relationship like you guys have. Most boys only want me for one thing.
Sayori frowns at Monika.
Oh, Monika.
Sayori stands up and walks over to Monika and pulls her into a hug. Monika appears to tense up at Sayori's gesture, but her face keeps the same collected look as always. At first, she clenched her fists, but she eventually reciprocates the hug.
You'll find someone one day, I just know it. Oh, I think I already have. Aw, who is it? What's his name? I'd rather not say. All I know is that I don't know if he's looking for the right girl right now.
Monika eerily winks at me. Sayori and Monika release each other from their embrace.
Oh, I'm sure he'll come around. How can anybody miss you, Monika? You're so smart and beautiful. Well, it's been hard to get a good read on him lately. One day it seems like he's interested in me, and the next day he's off talking to someone else. I thought I had the perfect opening to get to know him recently, but something changed, and now I've barely been able to talk to him.
Sayori puts her hand on Monika's shoulder.
I hope it all works out for you in the end, Monika. I believe in you. Thank you, Sayori. I'm confident that this time things will work out between us. Can't wait to hear about it, Monika. I'll be sure to tell you all about it.
Monika smiles to the both of us and begins slowly walking to the front of the room. As she walks by me, I see Monika flash a quick smile at me as I get a whiff of her forget-me-nots perfume. I'm briefly left dazedly by the strong scent. Dazed, but I say dazedly, weird. I'm not used to Monika's perfume being this strong, nor did I really ever notice how beautiful her hair looks. Through this sudden warm and fuzzy feeling, I start to get a feeling that Monika was somehow talking about me the entire time. God, you're dense. No, that can't be it. She knows I'm with Sayori. I'm brought back to reality by Sayori, who keeps poking my cheek.
Hey, Hallie, you there?
I snap out of my daze. Oh, sorry, Sayori, I was spacing out again, wasn't I?
Yup.
Ha, well, I guess I've just been thinking about a lot lately.
Anything in particular?
Not really. I hope Sayori isn't mad that I might have been staring at Monika for too long. Though thankfully, she either didn't notice or is choosing to overlook it.
It was a little weird that Monika knew we were dating, though. I don't think I told her.
Maybe she figured it out on her own, I guess.
Yeah.
Besides, everyone's going to figure it out eventually anyways. I mean, it's not like we're keeping this top secret or anything.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't exactly want to scream out to the world that we're together.
Aw, you don't want to show me off?
No, it's not that. It's just that all my friends who are in relationships are going to overwhelm me with advice and congratulations. And I don't know if I'm prepared to deal with all that right now.
We'd definitely be the talk of the school for a good week at least.
Yeah. It'd be kind of nice, though.
That it would. Sayori and I share a small laugh as we wait for Monika to start the activity for the day.
Okay, everyone, gather around. I want to share with you all the activity for today.
Everyone takes a seat at the front of the room by Monica.
Alright, I've been meaning to bring this up for a while now. After we finish the photo shoot on Monday, we're going to be reading a piece of literature from our choosing.
Yuri and Sayori nearly burst out of their seats in excitement, while Natsuki lets out a groan. I'm surprised Yuri's excited as this. I mostly just keep a neutral expression, but I'm kind of intrigued as to what we'll be reading. Judging by Natsuki's response, we're probably thinking on the same plane, hoping we're not given something we'd have to read for our own literature classes.
I have a few early choices we can choose from, but I'm happy to entertain any ideas that you guys may have. Wait, is there a catch to this? Nope, so long as it's literature. Though ultimately, this has to be something everyone is willing to read.
Natsuki's lips curl into a mischievous smile, while Yuri shuts her eyes, bracing for what Natsuki's about to say next.
So, does manga count? Well, considering there's different kinds of manga, I'm willing to allow that for its inclusion in this activity. Or activity. I guess some forms of manga could be considered literature. Yes!
Natsuki pumps her fist in the air.
See, Yuri, even Monica admits manga is literature. Just keep in mind, it has to be something we'd all be willing to read, Natsuki. And I hope you'd be willing to read something of my preferred tastes as well. I guess that seems fair to me. Good. So, what are you recommending, Monica? I'd like to recommend this story.
Monica proudly holds up a copy of a green book by the name of Two of Us.
I just got started on it, but so far it's been a pretty good read.
Sayori's eyes widen.
Ooh, I've heard good things about that one. What's it about? It's about this girl who realizes that she's living in a fake reality, but she finds someone else who knows this truth too. The story is about their struggle to accept their circumstances and their attempts to return to the real world. It's technically a romance novel, but it has some sci-fi and horror elements mixed in. How can a book be both horror and romance? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I haven't gotten that far into it, so I can't answer that. Besides, that'd probably be spoiling. Yeah, I guess it would. I mean, there are quite a few romance novels that mix horror into their story. Like this book, for instance.
Yuri digs into her bag and holds up a book with a faded violet cover called Outcast's Dilemma. Natsuki rolls her eyes as soon as she reads the title.
Is it another horror book? The horror in this book is rather tame compared to what I usually like to read.
Well, I guess that means Yuri has a pretty high tolerance for horror. Actually, horror was only a recent thing. Natsuki and Sayori both look off uneasily.
I know you two aren't really into horror, but trust me, most of this book is romance. So what are the scary parts? And what exactly is it all about? The book is about this girl who is an outcast from her dystopian society because she doesn't meet their standards for perfection. She goes on to meet a man who saves her, and the two fall in love. Eventually, the man is able to get her accepted back into society, but only if she completes several tasks for the government. So that's where the horror comes in. I'd assume so. I'm only halfway done. That sounds like a fun book to read, Yuri. I'd be happy to get a copy of that.
I mean, I'd be willing to read anything you guys recommend. I don't exactly have a library back at my house.
Well, if that's the case, Hallie, I think I got something you might enjoy.
Natsuki reaches into her bag and holds up a large light blue book called Love's Exit.
Huh, I've actually heard of this one before. Actually, I think I have as well. This is actually one of the few manga that got their own movie. Though the manga got much better reviews. Anyways, it's about a boy who rescues his friend from her abusive family. But because his friend's family is pretty powerful, they have to go on the run. And while they're out there, they fall in love with each other, but they know their situation ultimately isn't sustainable. The ending of the story is really sad, though.
I never thought Natsuki would ever be into something sad.
So it's a romantic tragedy manga? Yeah, pretty much. I read it a few years ago. I picked it up because it looked like a cute story on the outside. And then as I was reading it, I realized how wrong I was. It's a good story all around, though I probably wouldn't have read it if I knew it was a tragedy story. Well, I'll admit, Natsuki, you have me intrigued. Wow, really? I never thought I'd see the day you'd actually be picking up a manga. I just hope you see the day where you pick up a horror novel. Hey, I said I'd be willing to try. It just needs to be the right story. What do you mean by that?
Sensing the incoming tension, Sayori steps in.
You know, I think I may have a story that we could all enjoy.
Sayori holds up a pink-covered book called Rainshine.
I'm not familiar with this one. What's it about?
It's about this girl who develops a split personality, and the story is about her struggles in trying to overcome it. The ending is really bittersweet.
Sounds like it could be interesting.
Have you read it before? Yeah, I've read it a couple times before, but I haven't read it recently. It's actually one of my favorite stories.
I didn't even know Sari had a favorite story. Much less, I didn't know that she'd read something like that. But I guess with the way she described it, I think I might know the reason she likes reading that book. In fact, I think I might be seeing a general trend in each of the books described by everyone. They all have a female protagonist, and the story revolves around love in some way. Is 2 words. I guess that's what I get for being the only guy here.
Alright, so we have our options. I'll look into seeing it, or if I can get copies for all of us tomorrow, and if I'm able to, then we can decide on what we'll read first. Is that okay with everyone?
Everyone nods in agreement.
Alright then. We still have some time before the club ends, so you guys are free to hang around. Allie, I believe you have everyone's phones.
I do.
Awesome. Well, let us know if you need anything else.
I'll be sure to. Everyone gets up and goes back to their respective areas.